Hello friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood from the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina, and we're continuing to look at what our lives ought to look like as witnesses for Jesus Christ. Today we're reading again from the Gospels of Matthew, chapter 5, this time verses 38 through 42. Hear now these words. You have heard that it was said, eye for eye and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. Again, this is Jesus, and I'm going to be totally honest here. This is a very difficult passage to understand and to live by, because if we take this at just plain reading face value, it looks like Jesus wants us to be wusses when it comes to confronting evil. That Jesus wants us to turn the other cheek, to kowtow and go the extra mile, to give our cloak and our shirt, to do all these things, and so we are no longer resisting evil. Is that what he wants us to do? To roll over and play dead whenever the devil comes along? I don't think so. Instead, I think what Jesus is describing here is what is our attitude. Is our attitude one of helping others or only protecting ourselves? You see, every one of these statements that Jesus is making, they are all about our natural defense mechanisms, that I don't want somebody else telling me what to do, how to do, when to do. And so my defensiveness goes up. But if we understand what Jesus is describing here, he's saying, don't be defensive, but be non-violently assertive. I think that's what Gandhi was able to figure out when he was doing all the protesting in India, and what Martin Luther King Jr. figured out during the race relations during the 1960s. And quite honestly, we've forgotten how to do this today, because you go look at any charged environment where you've got this group and they are at loggerheads with one another. There is no peaceful reaching out to the other. Jesus describing here ways in which we can use our compliance to create opportunities for engagement. If you're walking 2 miles with somebody, you've got a longer conversation than drudging silently for the mile. If you've given your coat and your shirt, you're now given the opportunity to explain why you are being overly generous. It goes back to yesterday's Devo. Are we going to be salt and light for our Heavenly Father's glory? Or are we going to try to do things just to protect our own sense of glory? Hopefully this gives you a different way of thinking about and applying these verses to your life today. And I'll see you tomorrow for another daily devotion.